lot of my experience on Twitter means I'm reading people's tweets, and I know this community, I know what we struggle with, and a lot of it has to do with money. And I come from the old school capitalist, like, let's make money as much as we can. Um, and that whole vibe of construction where you can do a roof, but you really want the maintenance contract. So is your agency taking advantage of the client SEO budget? If it's not, it should. So you can't be productive when you're frustrated. I mean, I know this from experience. I'm in therapy, I have medication, it's just, that's life. Working with clients is frustrating. And it's frustrating because they are people. So no matter what, in any capacity where we work, we're always going to be interfacing with people in some form or fashion. When we're building websites, we need the client to love us and like us and follow us and hit all of those pieces in our marketing flywheel, in our funnels, and all those touch points, right? So, but what I see on a daily basis from reading tweets on the WordPress arena since 2013, y'all are frustrated by clients who don't participate in the web development project and in an efficient way. And when I say they don't participate, it means they're not giving you client copy. But here's the problem. Clients are not copywriters. So we don't want copy from them because they don't know how to write for the internet. We go through our whole academic career learning how to write to go to the next level of our academic career, to learn how to write to go to our next level of our academic career. When newspapers are pitching things at a 5th grade reading level, and the internet's between 5th grade and 9th grade reading level, even the Harvard Business Review is around 6th or 7th grade reading level, because the internet is not for reading. Books are for reading. The internet is for scanning and skimming and finding what you need to answer the question that you have right now, so you can get back to doing what you were doing before you got on the internet, right? So the clients can be a resource. Don't get me wrong. The clients are a resource, but don't expect them to hand you copy that's ready to go. So instead of being frustrated by that process and the delays and the billing issues, remove that frustration by taking copy away from the clients. And what's going to happen is their website is just going to work. Okay, so let's go to my unscientific type form survey that I did for Launch with Words and is ongoing. I'm asking people, how are you getting content? And if you build websites, how are you getting content? Who provides it? Is there a combination? That kind of thing. So of the 88.9% of people who do build websites that answered this survey, 96% get content from clients. They might also write and hire a writer, because otherwise those numbers wouldn't make sense. They were not either or questions. I wanted all of the sources. So, but only 29%, about a third, hire a writer, and a little under half also write. That's good. That's good. So I asked, are you waiting for the client to give you content in order to get paid? 60% almost yes, and 40% no. So it's kind of a 60-40. The 10 people that answer this that don't have to wait, maybe we need to find them and figure out what their solution is. But I have a suspicion that they are not waiting for the clients. So I also asked them, in my research, would you consider adding blog posts to your client websites if it extended your service contract? Now, I was alluding to it earlier with construction. You can get a roof. It lasts for 10 to 30 years, right, on a home. You'll probably never do that same home again. because it'll get sold and the roof warranty may or may not be extended to that new owner or transferred to that new owner, depending upon the type of roof that's installed, right? So what you want is the maintenance. It's the same with commercial. Commercial is a little easier because there's so many tenant changes and satellite dishes and plumbing fixtures that they have to be roofed in. But for residential projects, it's the same as websites. How many times is that client going to want a website? If you do one and done, then you're building it, and now you have to have another 7 to 10 touches, another marketing funnel, another marketing flywheel to get another person, and you cannot scale that. So stop waiting for clients to provide the content and shift your mindset so that what you're doing is you are giving them service, and in that same package, you are also providing SEO. And, some people might say, I'm not a marketer, but I will say this. Websites are literally for marketing. That's the only reason why they exist. They are selling a person, that's marketing. They are selling a product, that's marketing. They are selling a nonprofit for donations or volunteers or service, that's marketing. They are trying to get students, that's marketing, right? So what is marketing? Essentially, marketing is communication. That's all it is. We marketers like to have all these acronyms, like we're the government or something. What are your KPIs? Do you have the ARIA? Do you have the EAT score? Nobody cares about any of that stuff. But what they need are words. They need to know where you are, what you offer, how to contact you, pricing, which is always better to have pricing on your website for price anchoring. That's another webinar from another presenter. But the website exists literally for the words. It's funny because I was talking to my writing partner this morning, Warren Leonida, who also teaches, and his SEO students were broken up into 2 different groups: research keywords, and you have 90 minutes to research keywords, pick up a product, figure it out what you're going to market, write the copy, and put it on a WordPress website. One group got it done, and the other group was bogged down by finding a background image, finding an icon to put on there. So it's words drives the design, not design driving the words, because it's so easy to go into the black hole of themes and functions. And a lot of times our clients say, oh, I like this website and I really want it to look like that, only they don't have the content for that. And that's where we have some more teachable moments and opportunities for us to make a little extra dollars. So 46% of search on Google includes local intent. So if we're thinking about all the small mom and pop businesses, now I'm a part of my local chamber, and a lot of people think, oh, small businesses are literally a man and a husband and his wife, or a family that start a business, and they're really, really little staff-wise. But a small business is any business that makes under X amount of dollars a year. Like, I'm not Microsoft, I'm a small business. I can make, I think, 10 million a year before I'm not a small business. Don't quote me on that, we'll figure it out. The internet will tell us the answer. But the point of it is that we can be small, but still have revenue, okay? We want revenue. So these small businesses, restaurants, service-based industries, nonprofits, schools, people that are providing a platform for themselves, resume portfolio sites, those kinds of things, we need that local intent. So if you have local intent, you're going to want localized copy, right? So you're going to want to be the best roofing contractor in San Antonio, serving Alamo City for X amount of years, right? You're going to want to use that jargon. You're going to want to use y'all. Like, for example, I moved to Texas from California, and in Southern California, I grew up in Northern, but in Southern California, people identify freeways with the article "the." Instead of Interstate 5, it's the 5. Instead of Interstate 405, it's the 405. So I come here and I'm like, okay, y'all, how y'all doing? Whatever. But then I say, I'm getting on the 35, the 37, and then I am revealed as being from Southern California, right? So you want to pay attention to how the language is used in and around the area of where the website business exists. Now, if you're international, then you have to choose if you're going to go English, your own language, or and then if you do English, is it going to be UK spelling or United States spelling? That's, it's tricky. So in order to solve this revenue frustration problem and frustration about revenue, build and bill like an agency. So you're going to do three things. You're going to sell the business goals, not the finished project. You're going to keep the client for a year with this monthly recurring revenue, MRR for the people who like acronyms. And you're going to sell content under the SEO budget. Why is that? Well, here's the thing. Websites exist for the marketing and the communication, right? So why are they spending money on this website? What are they trying to achieve by either building or relaunching this website? So that website should be attached to those business goals. Here's an example. When I was working at Thought House, specialized in franchise development, which means don't go to McDonald's, buy a McDonald's. We had a customer called Paul Davis Restoration. And so we built a site for them, brand new, pauldavisbusiness.com. So we were not judged based upon how many hits they got, where the traffic came from, how much came from social media when we got that part of the contract the next year, how long the articles were, anything like that. Their business goal at that time, I mean, pretty outdated, was opening or selling, because they would resell franchises, opening or selling 46 franchises in that calendar year. So if the website achieved that goal and helped to achieve that goal, then our contract got renewed, which it did, and it did. So we had pages and content, pages and posts added in the SEO budget and worked on that budget divided by our in-house hourly rate to figure out how much we could actually achieve, staying within their monthly budget and moving the website forward. So essentially, you have an MVP website with 5 pages, release it. Then the next month, do posts and pages, posts and pages, posts and pages, posts and pages. That way, you're going to be able to help them grow and write those posts and pages that support their business goal. And then they're going to be happy and say the website works. Let's do it again next year, right? Right. Okay. So that whole one and done mentality, I could say it a bunch of different ways, but it's not really that appropriate in the WordPress ecosystem. Is maybe scalable in the context of the whole WordPress ecosystem, because there are 500 websites building WordPress a day, according to a 2019 study by WP Engine. But it's not scalable for you. It's not scalable for your business. It took you 7 to 10 touches if you are logging that in your CRM of choice, which I think everybody is saying it should be Groundhogg, right? So if you're logging in how that lead came in and attributing it, then you know how many times you've interacted with them. Human nature is not going to change just because we have technology. And that's the thing that a lot of people forget about in marketing, that when you're marketing yourself, it will take that many times. Yeah, I scrolled and I saw that bathing suit on Instagram a bunch of times, but how many times did I see it before I bought it, right? Website isn't a Snickers bar in the grocery aisle, but at the same time, I remember the commercial where the girl is sitting in high school and her stomach's grumbling and she's really embarrassed. This is before everybody was eating Cliff Bars. They're like, have a Snickers, right? So if it takes that long, years sometimes, if it takes that long, depending upon your sales cycle, to get a client, why would you want to be one and done, right? And additionally, right, websites aren't finished products. It's not like, okay, well, we built your car, now go. No way. Cars are smarter than that. Automobile companies are smarter than that, right? There's a warranty. There's a drivetrain warranty that only lasts for 100,000 miles, or sometimes even shorter, like 40,000 miles. And then they want you to get the extended warranty. And then when you're financing the vehicle, they'll probably roll in the maintenance, which doesn't seem like that much when it gets rolled in with the car payment. I've done it every single time because it's just easier to keep that customer, because automobile companies don't make money from the vehicles. They make money from parts and service. They make money on parts and service. It's the maintenance that we need. And furthermore, a lot of companies like Toyota are going even further than that and saying, yes, you could have this feature, but it's going to cost vehicles as a service, right? They're adding SaaS. It's going to cost you $20 a month to have this, which, to be fair, GM had done a lot sooner with OnStar, or was it Chevrolet? I can't remember, but OnStar, okay? Which is a service you have to pay for. You don't get it just because it's in the car, right? You don't get an e-commerce solution just because WordPress can do it. You have to pay for that maintenance and upgrades. So sell the content in the SEO budget. You know why? Because when you say, oh, you really need blog posts, they're gonna be like, blog posts are for little teenage Instagram influencers, and they don't even do that anymore, right? Because people are wasting their time on Instagram. It doesn't drive traffic to your website, but that's another webinar. Don't even get me started. What people do care about is SEO. They have been scared enough to know that they need SEO, whatever they think that is. But essentially, it's ranking signals. So if you publish once a week, you have that metronome effect. Every time you publish, you're telling Google that you're still in business, right? And then you put that on Twitter, and then you have even more ranking signals. So it's just going and going and going and building all of that, including the web part of the web, which are those internal and external links within your site. You want those links so that they will stay on your website much longer. We like time on site to be about 2 minutes, because that tells you they're reading. And then how can all of that be tied back to, you got it, their business goals? Because business goals is all they care about. So you want them to care about the website so they keep you on staff or on contract, right? Tie it to the business goals. And sometimes you have to ask them for the data. I do this all the time as a social media manager. I don't have access to your Google Analytics, but this is what I keep track of in my own Twitter stats. I want to know how many referrals came from Twitter and how many pages per session they did. And I like to see that relationship on my spreadsheet. So you can combine your metrics in those ways, but you really can't do it unless you know your business goals, and making more money is not a business goal. So you might have to do a little counseling with your clients. In 2019, HubSpot found that marketers who prioritize marketing efforts, we're talking about publishing on the internet, publishing on your website, the domain name that you own, not Facebook, not LinkedIn, not Medium, not TikTok, not Instagram, not Twitch, okay? HubSpot found that marketers who prioritize marketing efforts are 13 times more likely to see a positive ROI, return on investment, which is another acronym that I hate for another reason. because it's not accurate in accounting, right? Marketing is a business expense, not an asset, but it doesn't matter because your clients will think, I want an ROI on that. So what they want is these website costs need to be tied back to their business goals, right? So how often should you publish? For small blogs, small being like my site, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that, it has a product, it has advice. I sell services. If you want only to like give a boost for organic traffic 4 to 5 times a week. And for brand awareness, which is what I'm doing, 1 to 2 times a week. So if you really want to boost it out, then, and you want to compete, you have to compete with volume. And everybody knows, especially when they think of the bad parts of the internet, they think of the loud people. Being loud is being voluminous. It's being somebody that publishes. When I was working with Give, WP, that's been acquired now by iThemes, we did that the second year I was there. For first year, it was once a week. Get that cadence in, right? Now, the next year, we published 4 times a week. And I was responsible for having that done. And it was very aggressive and very stressful, but we wanted the organic traffic, and we were willing for a year to spend time building up an internal library that also supported our sales staff that would live on as content. I just read an email from Rand Fishkin, formerly of Moz, who's now with Spark Toro, talking about the fact that all these things, sometimes they don't have really good hits. But Whiteboard Friday didn't get more than 100 views on YouTube for 3 years, he said. There wasn't that traffic. It takes time. The internet has a very, very long memory, and it takes a long time to build that infrastructure, that web, the intertangling. You're weaving all that content and staying on those business goals. This is why it needs to be tied to the business goals. For example, if you're working with a insurance agency and they want to focus on the older millennials that are buying homes now and getting life insurance, since now they're 40, 42, and they're starting to get married and have kids and owning homes, that's a good time to hit millennials. So you could spend a quarter or maybe 2 quarters writing topics that are helpful to millennial homeowners, ranging from everything from how do you find life insurance, should you buy travel insurance, do you need private mortgage insurance, decorating, how to be minimal, all of those things. That could be a complete subject, okay? So if you don't have a monthly contract, you're leaving money on the table. If you don't have a money contract, you're leaving money on the table. Remember Jerry Maguire, show me the money. We don't have time in our lives to keep getting content. And I'm telling you, some niche agencies that I used to write for charge $2,000. It's not on their website because you got to go through their sales process. $2,000 a month. And service-based people pay for that. $2,000. That doesn't include the ad budget. That's just for them to host, update, and run the website. So WordPress, we know from the WP Engine study, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So why not have this maintenance contract with an SEO line item to stabilize your income? If you haven't gotten the WP Engine report, it's like, I don't know, 10 pages or something, $635.5 billion. So in 2019, Tesla was 550 billion and WordPress is 635. That's crazy. Projected at 2021. I cannot wait for WP Engine or somebody else to update this study because it is crazy. So, for example, This is your small biz marketing. It's something that I partner with Warren Lane Nida on, and we both write, and I can do a lot of the SEO things on the website. So we thought, hey, why don't we have a $750 website, right? And then have this package where it costs for the maintenance, it costs for the updates, and it costs for SEO, which includes short form blog posts or new pages, 4 max a month, and Facebook and Twitter management, very minimal, right? So if you take just that small biz starter package, that's $1,100 a month, basically, and the first month's $1,800. I'll show you our internal spreadsheet, a screenshot of it to figure it out. So the 5-page website, $750, because whatever, a loss leader, right? Like the Ford Fiesta is a loss leader. Ford makes $0, negative dollars actually on the Ford Fiesta, but they mass produce them so that their fleet average mile per gallon is low, because what they do sell is trucks, right? So we want to have one-time $750 so that we get $1,100 a month. See, a fast nickel beats a slow dime. So if you take that monthly and extrapolate it out a year, so $1,000 a month plus the $750, that's $13,000. That's $13,000 per client. Oh, I see that we might have questions. Let's see. What are typical customers? Who are typical customers for their? Great question, Peter. This could be anybody, a bookstore, restaurants, service-based industry is ripe for the picking. And you can go on Google Maps. I actually have a blog post on how you could use my product to pitch roofing companies. And what I did is I went on Google Maps and looked for San Antonio roofer, and they were using Google Business Profile website. I mean, build that in an hour, go pitch them, you know? Anyway, so that's small business. So that was how we figured it out, okay? And what were our costs? Except for our personal labor, right? And these were based on prices that Warren and I agreed on in our own internal time and figuring that out, right? Our cost is $460 a year. So that's still almost $13,000. It's the maintenance, and people are willing to do this. The travel industry is the same thing. Travel industry, Chamber of Commerce, they'll get on these big multi-site things that are easy for them because they don't have to deal with, oh, WordPress 4.9 broke my thing. Where's my menu bar? Oh, wait, it's a block. You know, they don't have to deal with that because they're paying us to deal with that, right? So, so people don't read pages. So they scan. And this is why you need a writer who understands how to write for the internet, okay? Writing for the internet is not a 5-paragraph essay. It's completely different, you know. Even Ahrefs, or no, SEMrush just did a study that the strong element, not the old bold one, but strong words that are bolded, appropriately bolded within a blog post or page, rank higher. So, like, because people want the answer. People are Googling and asking Siri and asking Alexa for the answer. And if your blog post has it, well, then that's great. Otherwise, you're building an internal content library to send out to, like if somebody, for example, when I did the post that I'm famous for epoxy injection and how it structurally welds concrete tilt-up walls, my boss would just say, oh, my office manager wrote this, and send them that, right? So plus people find you on the internet. 3 years later, just like the Rand Fishkin thing, 3 years later, and that video that goes inside the blog post is still on the internet. It's so bad, it's so bad. But 3 years later, that video literally got us a lead that went from $7,800 job to $97,000. The gross profit of which paid my salary for half a year, which is amazing. for two reasons, because it brought in that much gross profit and that I worked for that little. So how do you get content? You have three choices. Those were the days. Partner with a writer, curate content from UpContent, or use private label rights, PLR content, or launch with words. So partnering with a writer, how do you find one? I mean, they're in our Slack groups, they're in our Discord groups, they're in our Facebook groups. Everybody knows somebody that writes, but make sure they know how to write for the web, because it's completely different, like I mentioned. And if you get a referral and say, hey, Jeremy, hey, Jenny, would you do a test project? Give them the same exact blog post topic, pay them, $100, $150 to do it, give them a deadline, and then you'll see if they can meet deadlines, follow instructions, and write well, especially if they're not a native English speaker. Because let me tell you, overly depending upon Grammarly, sometimes I'm like, Grammarly, you're drunk. Okay, you need to go to college, you're AI, that's all you want, that's all you are. Oh, there's another question. What's the typical copywriting for a landing page for the aforementioned small business? Typical cost? Well, landing pages, great question, Peter. So these prices can range from $1,000 to $5,000. It really depends on who you're getting to write for you, how long it is. I would go for a writer who gives you a flat rate. Like I used to charge $50 for this. And then I had one of those clients, I now charge $150 for page content. I don't care how many words it is. I have to get in your head. I have to get in your brand. I have to do some little Googling research and things like that. So if it's by the word, you're going to get some long drawn out novel, and nobody has time for that. And nobody wants to read it either. So UpContent is something that one of my clients used while we were building up our own content library. UpContent is a great source for adding in content that you curate by topic. It gets added as JavaScript. It is not going to penalize your SEO. In fact, it's going to help people stay on your time on your, it's going to help your time on site, whatever the Google calls it now. People will be on your website longer because they're seeing this little snippet and they could click off, but usually they read the snippets and find other things. I talked to my friend, Scott Rogerson, who is the CEO, and he gave me this special affiliate link that you get 10% off and the 14-day free trial. Their pricing ranges from $15 a month to $265 a month, depending upon what you need. We use this big time for one of my contents where one of my clients where the purpose of the content was to gain leads to vet and sell that data, right? It's a big data company. So the content needed to be something very, very specific. So it's bit.ly/getupcontent. And you can, I do get 10% if you do that, but it's a fantastic way to supplement a client's website instead of just throwing on lorem ipsum in there. People can't visualize it. Like even when you show homes, it's better for them to be staged, and they're staged with actual furniture, not masking tape lines in the bedroom. One of the common problems that people have when they're buying homes is they don't understand, if they really question if the master bedroom or the primary bedroom is literally big enough for a California king bed and their dressers. So one of the most recommended things to do is to stage that master bedroom with as much furniture as possible, because they cannot visualize it. It's the same with content. If you have lorem ipsum, your clients are going to get confused and frustrated. They won't be able to see themselves in that website. If you supplement it with something like UpContent, it's going to look full, especially if they sent you, this is especially true if they sent you a website of a competitor who does have a lot of content, and there's no way they can use that theme. Like I said, it works with WordPress. We happen to use it with Webflow, but you know, they're great people over there. And oh, there's another question. 150 sounds good for landing page. Yeah, that's a good price. That's me being cheap because I just want to help people, which I gotta stop doing. But yeah, okay. So another one is private label rights content or launch with words. Private label rights content. A lot of people, when I talked about launch with words, are very unfamiliar with SEO and what really matters. We have this myth of duplicate content being a penalty. It really isn't a penalty. It's just not going to help you necessarily. So private label rights is content that's mass produced, industry specific. So for example, on plrproducts.com, you can get a pack just for coaches. That's $2.99. I don't know, I've not used this, but I know agencies that have used this in the franchising industry. I'm going to tell you that is why I decided to make Launch with Words, because it's not that great of content, but it's still better than no content, right? So if you, I mean, this is a great opportunity. Go to plrproducts.com and go see if it has, like, you're doing a website for a dentist and maybe they have, you know, a pack of blog posts. That would be fantastic. And then mine is really, you know, growing and more expensive because they're written better. So the only question is, will your business evolve, or are you happy with the one and done mentality? Do we have any more questions? I love questions. Questions are my favorite.
Hi.
Hi, Adrian.
Thought I'd pop in and see how we're doing. So have you done an actual demo? I've had to go over to the other session and now I'm back. Have you done a demo of Launch with Words?
Oh yeah, they're all over the internet. They're on my YouTube channel. Not in this presentation because I'm not pitching Launch with Words. I'm pitching get a writer.
You're pitching. Okay, but have you talked about Launch with Words? Because I feel like that's relevant.
Oh, it is, but I'm just saying, okay, so Launch with Words are 12 high quality packs of blog content that is actually a JSON file. So it's a WordPress plugin that allows you to import this JSON file. So what it does is it imports blog posts as a draft in your WordPress site. Then, and my developer who made my plugin hates that I say this, but then you could delete the plugin so that you don't need to ever hand off that site to the client with a plugin. They're like, what's Launch with Words? They don't need to know about it. The blog posts are completely written. You do not need to change it. However, it's on your site now, so you can localize it. You can add those internal links. You can schedule one a month if the client is not going to write anything. But if you want to launch it and then really give an SEO boost, then you can launch it with one blog post and then schedule one for a week, each week. And then that's like a launch with 11 weeks of content to get that going like that. And, you know, add a meta description, a featured image, not required, but that's going the extra mile for your client. But you don't need a writer for that. You don't need a writer for that. So, for example, I did a blog post, Adrian, where I explained how people could use my Launch with Words roofing pack, which I give a templated about and homepage. I've been writing about roofing for 22 years. And then it's like a Mad Lib where they could just take, oh, the best roofing contractor in city. We've been serving city for X amount of years, you know, like that kind of thing, because that's all that really matters. Review. And you get that for free when you buy the roofing. You can pitch that to people and make like $7,500 just with 10 websites.
Can you show us?
Can I show you
what it looks like?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was so worried I was running out of time. Well, I'm sharing my screen.
We have a whole 18 minutes left. So if you can do it in under 18 minutes,
let's do it. No, of course I can.
I'm sure people are curious.
I'm so excited. Okay, so I need to do a new share of Google Chrome. All right, so let's go to Taste WP. I love Taste WP because you could just spin up a website like super fast. Set it up. Please agree to our policy. Where is it? Where's it? Oh, sorry. All right, access it now. So when you have your website and you are going to want to add a plugin. So add new. And add, look for, launch with words. Clearly I've done this before. There it is, install. All right, so let's see. Oh, now I gotta make sure that I get the file because I'm not gonna go through the purchase situation, but you go to the website, it tells you where to
I'm sorry,
go.
but you're gonna have to do that because
I am gonna have to do that. Okay.
please just
Okay, I'm gonna
take us
activate
through
the
the process.
I just feel so bad. Like I don't want to take up too much time. Okay, so I'm activating the plugin. So here's my installed plugins. And what? Okay, go away. Thing. Okay, I got it. Go away. Okay, so when you go to posts, you have the plugin Launch with Words. Okay, it's gonna want to import the content pack. Here's like how to use it because there's a free starter. There's a free starter one. And then, there's a podcast, there's all this other stuff, but you're going to import it. And when you import this pack, it's going to want to know the content author and the category. So I always recommend going to the categories and adding one. And then because it uncategorized, that should just be a core update. Like it shouldn't exist along with Hello Dolly. Or Hello World or whatever it is. It needs to die. Hello World. And so actually what I like to do is I like to unpublish that because now my little face is in the way. Okay, update. Okay, so now I've done that. I'm gonna go back to Launch with Words. Okay, so I want to be ready. I like to do things like a cooking show. I want everything easy for me. So now I'm saying the blog category is roofing. Okay, now it's gonna ask me to import the file. So I have to go to launchwithwords.com. Oops, that's when it doesn't work for you. Launchwithwords.com. And you can tell I just listen to 70s game shows, huh? Okay, we're going to go to the roofing content pack. And this is where it talks a lot about how you do it, what it looks like when you install it. That's my little pitch video, blah, 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 bolded text, how you buy it, what the headlines are, like 4 of them. I can't give it all away. And then, so you would click this and buy it, and then you would download it, okay? So when you download it, it goes through that whole thing. But I already have it, and I don't want to make a coupon code, so it's in my hard drive. All right. Now you get to see behind the scenes. I have a client that's using, I have 2 clients who've used this pack before, and I just followed up with Cami McNamara, who's using it. And she was like, oh, it's working so great, because when they don't know what to write, then we just add one of those in there. So it's a JSON file. I'm going to download it. JSON, it's just the words, and that's what's so great with it. So let's go back to our admin. So we're going to choose that file that we just downloaded. Depends on how your computer works, where it goes. And then, are you ready? Import. Okay, it's done. 12 posts have been created. So you go to all posts. There they are. So I go to edit. Oops, I keep hitting my lamp. Okay, so, oh my gosh, block editor, goodbye. Don't be informed, don't ignore those pesky water stains on your ceiling. So this is all ready. It has outbound links. It's written with, SEO in mind, and you can publish it exactly the way it is. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything special. And there it is in the roofing category. However, what I recommend is that you schedule them out. So because they're imported all as drafts, you can schedule them out whenever you want to, right? So the other thing is, like I mentioned, when you go to your installed plugins, I've already imported all these. So what I don't need is launch with words. So deactivate and delete. And then you can clean up your tables. And I know it doesn't have a lot of active installs, but you go to your posts, they're still there because it was a JSON file. This means it's not going to break depending upon what WordPress decides to do with 6.0 or whatever else is going on. So, but let's say like this one, what makes a roofing contractor better than your neighborhood handyman? So I can edit this and say, well, I want to rank for San Antonio. So I'm going to take this word neighborhood and I'm going to take it out. And I'm going to go to San Antonio, better than your San Antonio handyman. And on San Antonio Craigslist, right? And then I would be like, let's talk about your roofing options. And then I'm going to link that to the contact page. I don't think there's one. There's just a sample page, but whatever, publish. And then when you can have your meta and everything like that, it's already there. You've got all 12 of these. You can do it all at once or later or whatever. And as you publish them, then you have more things to collaborate on within and to internally link. So this actual pack comes with the little free thing, which is the Bobbity Boo. It's a Google Doc, roofing template. I forgot the link. Oh, here it is. So when you get the email that says that you bought this, you get this template for free. So here it is. Here's the home page title, business, like whatever it's called, San Antonio Roofing Expo, whatever, your local San Antonio roofer. And then I've highlighted all of these things that you need to change with a little note from me, which you get because you copy this to your own Google Drive, right? And then schedule your estimate, whatever their tagline is. Your professional roofing contractor, look for their memberships. Do they have a Better Business Bureau? They should. That's why I'm saying, like, most commonly, now I'm sweating. Okay, most commonly, they have the Better Business Bureau, their local Chamber of Commerce, at least one of them, and some kind of roofing association that they're part of, business year. There's got to be reviews. There's always reviews. Look on their Facebook page, look on Instagram, look on Google Maps or business profile, whatever they're going to change the name to. Again, look at Yelp and put in a couple of the good ones. And if they talk about metal roofing, for example, then what you're going to do is you're going to link metal roofing to the blog post about metal roofing, right? So you're building that internal. And then here it's written, if your roof has been leaking, don't ignore it. We can help you through the insurance claims process and may even be able to help upgrade your roof. What are you waiting for? Button, like there it is. And then here's the about page. You know,
So
city, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
in the 8 minutes that we have left,
I feel like an athlete now.
in the 8 minutes that we have left, I want you to do two things. I want to know what content packs are available at the moment and which ones are on the way. And then the objection, the common objection is, what about like duplicate content, right?
Yeah.
If there's a bunch of these different posts out there, like, is that going to negatively impact SEO? And I know you have an answer for that.
The answer is no, it doesn't negatively impact. I mean, this is what the franchise industry does. So right now we have the starter pack, which are prompts. It's for the person who wants to do their own business blogging, and it's completely free. And there's a link to it in the landing page of the WordPress plugin directory for Launch with Words. There's also one in German, and we're getting this starter pack translated also in Dutch. The roofing content pack, residential general contractors available, commercial general contractor will be available as soon as I finish the last three, Chamber of Commerce. Now, what's going to come later are, it kind of depends on what people are asking for, right? So right now, people are asking for resorts, real estate people, one for a web developer, the hospitality industry, naturopath, mental health counselor. There will be 10 available this year. And depending upon how profitable they are, I use that money to reinvest with the writing. These are built to be specifically generic. So they're not crap fluff posts. And if you Google duplicate content myth, you'll see that it maybe doesn't help you, but it definitely doesn't hurt you. Go to any, oh, I'll show you. Let's see. Okay. Apex Roofing is here in San Antonio. And I actually wrote the content on this website because I worked for the company that built this website. Okay. So let's see. Commercial roofing. Come on. Is your current roof beyond repair? Our roofing specialist. Da, 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 da. Let's see how many times that's been used. Oh, somebody changed it. That's good. So add. Oh, maybe they didn't use that one. Oh, that's interesting. I know that like this exists because what we did at that company that I'm not naming because I'm not giving away all their secrets is we wrote blocks of content. You know, like how WordPress wants blocks. We just wrote blocks of content. We used it on whatever website worked. So I guess that's not working, but oh no, there it is. R&L Roofing Specialties is using the same exact words. So like the thing is that duplicate content is a big deal. What the website needs is they need something to share on social media. They need something to send to their inquiries. They need to be able to say, oh yeah, this is how you fix an epoxy, how you fix a concrete tilt up with epoxy injection. They don't care that it's duplicate content because that's not always why they're using it. But if you don't have anything to share on Twitter, which is also a ranking factor, then a 5-page website is not going to do anything for you.
How do people reach out to you? How do people work with you? How do people learn more about this wonderful world of search engine optimization for agencies?
Oh, well, they can find me at bridgetwillard.com and on Twitter at Bridget M. Willard. And if you Google my name, Bridget Willard, you're going to find lots of things about me on YouTube, bit.ly/Bridget's videos. Bridget videos are like, hello at bridgetwillard.com.